Hello, everyone. Fun night. My tooth didn't really bother me, so that's good. I hope the antibiotics are killing it. Slowly but surely, anyway. Taking ibuprofen and acetaminophen to help manage the pain. I'm looking forward to getting a good night's sleep. This visit tomorrow, I almost anticipate them telling me they can't do the surgery, that they want to wait for the antibiotics to run the course before they do the surgery to make sure that the Novocaine takes. But, I gotta do what I gotta do. Pay money to learn some things. Speaking of learning some things, I did none of that tonight. And I talked to a buddy of mine I hadn't really talked to in a while, and got to see how he's progressing. He's doing some drawing. He's always been interested in drawing, but didn't really have the confidence in his ability, and I'm sure for a time his ability wasn't that great, although far superior to mine. I'm still struggling for stick figures. But to see his evolution is just amazing. He's come a long way, and sure, he's got room to grow. We all have room for improvement, so I don't hold that against him. I don't hold it against anybody. If you're trying to practice and hone a skill, there's always room for improvement. You'll never be the best at anything. Even if the world decides you're the best at it, there's still improvement. Nobody's flawless. So it's really exciting to see him so passionate about his work. I hope he goes far with it. If that's his choice, if he decides to make a career of it, I hope he does, and then I hope he's really successful. Didn't really listen to any JRE tonight. I been re-listening to a author, Andrew Rowe, and he's done 3 different series that are telling the same story in different points in time, it seems like. And it's been really fun. Maybe you guys already know about it, and I'm behind the times. Again, this is the second time I've listened through these things, so I'm not necessarily behind the times, but I have only discovered him in the last year, maybe. And so I'm re-listening to that because he just put out a 3rd book for his latest edition. I don't really know how to describe it without it getting too confusing. The first set of books that he started with were The War on Broken Mirrors, I believe, and then he did 6 Sacred Swords, and then he did Arcane Ascension. And I came into the series with Arcane Ascension, having not known that there were other books in the series. And so I've went back and listened to everything else, and I'm going through it again because he put out a new book for the Arcane Ascension set. And I'm an Audible person, so I'm waiting for it to get turned into Audible and recorded. But it's fantastic. There's some magic and sorcery of different types, and not just like fire and ice, but like metal manipulation and stone manipulation and thoughts and illusions and teleportation and all kinds of really cool stuff. So if you're into that, I highly recommend his series. Pick it up anywhere you want. It makes the most sense to start at A War of Broken Mirrors and then the 6 Sacred Swords and then Arcane Ascension, but realistically you can pick up anywhere of the sets. You want to start at the first book of those sets, but you could really listen to any of them. So I'm really excited for the 3rd book to come to Audible so I can just keep progressing the story. It's something I've thought about with COVID is, if I ever got sick and passed before the series were finished, I guess it wouldn't matter, I'd be dead. But it's sad now, at the time, I guess it won't matter. But I've been waiting, we've all been waiting for a long time for Patrick to finish the third book for the Kingkiller Chronicles. And it's made me, wonder with the COVID, like all my favorite authors, the new ones anyway, I've never really had favorite authors before. But if they ended up getting sick and weren't able to finish it, the cliffhanger of the books and the sadness of the loss of somebody that is a great storyteller, it just would suck. So hopefully everybody's staying safe and healthy. I've not heard of any of the authors getting sick or anything, so it's not like I follow them heavily. Who knows? But I really hope that they're able to put out new books. But ultimately, I want them to be safe. If they need to take time for their family or whatever's holding up their progress, it is what it is. It's not my place as a reader to demand things of them or to value them solely based on what they put out as a product. I think they're human beings and their life is important, and whether they choose to write is irrelevant, I guess. They've already contributed so much to my life, so if it's as far as it gets, then so be it. But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I'm looking forward to the book's already out, so I'm looking forward to getting the Audible as the main thing. My favorite narrator, voice actor, I'm not sure what he calls himself, is Nick Podell. He did the Kingkiller series. That's where I first got introduced to him anyway. And I just started looking for books that he had done also. And that's how I came across this by Andrew Rowe. There's another book set by Aileron Kong called The Land. That's more like D&D-esque if you're into Dungeons and Dragons and RPG skill-based type things, then I highly recommend his books. They're fantastic. Plus, with Nick Podell narrating, it's kind of hard to go wrong. Another one is Fear the Darkness by Kel Cade. She's got 3 books, I think, or 4 books out, and then she decided to take a break, I guess, and do a different set before she finished the series, because I feel like the next book she puts out is going to be the end of the series. Again, Nick Podell narrates, but man, she's such a great writer. These people are all great writers, and I highly recommend any of those books. The one by Kel Cade's not D&D based, but there's fighting and sorcery, I believe, and it's been a minute since I've been through it, but it was just so fascinating. The background story that it's created there is amazing. I feel like I use that word a lot, but the imagery that Nick creates when he reads it, I know he's only reading the words that the author wrote, but like them together just makes such a easy time to get immersed into these books and feel like you're a part of it. So I listened to my audiobook, I guess is the point of that, a little bit tonight. And then after that, I've been watching Yawn Break. I've been watching some Hoonigan on the YouTubes. And that's Ken Block racing his drag, well, it's not a drag car, it's his, I don't even know what you call it, his rally car, I guess. Some crazy Mustang that he built, or was built for him, or I'm not sure the story of it, but the thing's a monster, and he's drag racing all kinds of like drag cars. So it was really fun going through. He's also got a series called This versus That. I was watching some of those videos. I really should have been trying to edit the videos I already have recorded, and I want to put together a budget for my food, just to see if I can really stretch things out better. But that's not really that entertaining, so I'll spare you the details. But with the holiday seasons and work fluctuating, having a good budget's not a bad idea. Even if you don't stick to it very well, at least having an outline, a guideline is really helpful. So you kind of are accountable to yourself and you know how far you might have gone out of whack. With this new audio, you can't really hear the background music, which is unfortunate. With YouTube's new policy of we're going to monetize your videos even if you don't meet the qualifications. I don't know how they pick the ones they're going to do that to, but I don't really feel like that's fair to make money off of people that can't make money themselves using the same program. I don't know, they might have revised it since this has gone up, or maybe I don't understand it, but that's what it sounded like. So I try to have music in the background that will hopefully get flagged for copyright issues and basically make it unmonetizable. If I ever get popular enough and pick up enough subscribers where I can make money, then I'll try and find more advertiser-friendly stuff or things that won't get me dinged for copyright infringement. But for now, I don't think it's right for them to make money off of anybody's content without giving them a piece of it. To me, you're taking your time, energy, and effort to film and edit, or maybe you don't, maybe you just upload raw video, but either way, it's still your material. I don't see why they should be the only ones to solely profit from it. So I've got it a little bit louder, and I don't know if it's going to pick up as much or if it's still going to be kind of unhearable. But I'm going to keep working at it until I can talk, because I know the microphone picks up really well. I'm going to do it so I can talk and you guys will hear some audio in the background, so hopefully it'll get flagged and I'll go from there. Ooh, somebody's out early this morning. Normally I just cruise right through that yield. Well, hopefully you guys have been sleeping soundly. I don't know of anybody right now that listens to me or watches me that works third shift, so I can't really say or ask how your night went. But if you are somebody that does work third shift and comes across this, how was your shift? Everything's normally done throughout the day, and then I get to listen to it at night. But I don't know too many people that do stuff at night, so you can listen to it in the day. I know I haven't put up the last 2 videos. My tooth pain interfered with a lot of that, and then just sheer laziness at work tonight. But I was just trying to take it easy. I didn't want to get caught up in case my tooth was really acting up, but that really only accounts for the first half of the night. After that, I just was lazy. But I think it's important to own up to your flaws. I'm human. We're all human. My girl had a really awesome idea for the elf on the shelf. She made like the daisy chain thing, and she wrote little kid-friendly jokes. I wish I could remember them. I don't have them off the top of my head. The one that sticks out is what letters do elves learn, or something to that effect? And the answer is the alphabet. I butchered it, and I'm sorry if you listen to it, babe. I'm sorry. But it was funny to me. And I didn't have the elf on the shelf when I was a kid. I didn't really have anything like that. So I'm glad that we can do this for our kids and make some memories out of it. One of the things I remember growing up was Easter. They would hide the baskets in our house, and sometimes it was under blankets or inside a chest that we had, or various places. But one year, sorry, lots of yawning. One year, they set it right on top of a footstool, I guess, and it was right in plain sight, but the stool was against the wall. And I think it always had like blankets or something kind of piled up on it, and they picked a basket color that was similar to the blanket, or maybe I'm misremembering this, but anyway, they just had it set right there out in the open, and it was the hardest basket for me to find. I remember walking around for what felt like hours. I'm sure it was, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe, but I was just searching the house. I'm looking in the washer and the dryer, and I'm looking under beds, and I'm looking in the showers, and just looking all over the place, and I'm like, where is it? Where'd you guys hit it really well? And they started doing the hot cold game with me, and I got to that bench, and I just finally was right in my face. It was like, oh man. My dad was like, yep, if it was a snake it'd bit you, because they were sitting at the table, which was in the same room as the basket. And they were sitting there drinking their coffee or something, and they were just watching me do laps in the house. Like I said, I'm looking over everything behind the couch and the washer and the dryer, like the beds and just everywhere. I'm looking everywhere in the house, and I walked by it several times because the dining room table was kind of in the center of the house. So I lapped it and lapped it and lapped it, and everybody got a pretty big laugh out of it, even myself once I figured it out. Those were fun times and memories that I have from my childhood, so I hope I can do that for my kids. I remember being on the merry-go-round, and my brothers, the closest age was like 8 years, so they were all much older than me. And I was living in an apartment complex that had a merry-go-round, and it was like a lot of sand around it. My brothers would sit there and spin it and spin it and spin it, and I was hanging on trying to fight it, and I started to lose my grip, and I moved to readjust, and I flung off the side of it and caught a mouthful of sand and bloodied my lip up and stuff. And I'm running inside because I'm a little kid, and my brother's running behind me, and so I make it in the door trying to brush it out of my eyes, my mouth and stuff. And my mom or my dad, I don't remember who was in there, somebody was in there, and they were kind of freaking out that my brothers were being irresponsible. And he runs in and he's like, we turned him into the Sandman. And like I instantly just started laughing because it was true and funny, and I'm covered in sand and bloodied. But it wasn't traumatizing in that I've ate dirt. It was memorable because it was so funny. He called me a Sandman. Oh, getting close to the stop time, so if you have any fun childhood memories, whether it be Christmas, Easter, or just playing with your friends or family, leave it in the comment below. I'd love to read some stories. Again, if you have any tips or tricks or techniques or something that I need to do different to make these videos better, please also leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and hit that like button. Let the internet know that this is a video worth watching. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.